Hey, old man. You were acting all tough earlier today when giving me those instructions, right? I think you'd better think twice next time before doing that.
Excuse me? What are you talking about?
I think you know who I'm the daughter of, right? If you keep something like that up with me, then you'll never have a chance of moving up here.
Moving up? I know that you're the daughter of Mr. Sanchez, but I had heard from your manager that your attitude is something that needs to be adjusted. And so I was around today to see how things were going with you and to give you some help.
That right there. I'm telling you that the way you're talking to me is not okay. I'm not the kind of person you're allowed to boss around like that. I am the daughter of this department's director. Please look at the position you're in and think if it's really okay for you to talk to me that way.
Are you sure that you're not the one that should be looking at the position you're in and getting a better understanding of it?
Excuse me?
Everyone here knows that the only reason you were hired into this company is because of the connection you have. But I'd like you to stop thinking that gives you any power over me. You are just another new hire to the rest of us. You should be thanking me for taking the time to give you some pointers today on becoming a better employee. Being as blunt as you are with all your coworkers and management is not acceptable here.
Do you even know who my father is?
I told you I do. How many more times are you gonna ask me that? I don't think there's any reason for you to ask me that though. And did you not understand the meaning of the message I just sent you a second ago? Right now you are acting in a way that your father, Mr. Sanchez, is not happy with. At this moment, there are plenty of people here that are upset with your father because of you.
They're not upset with him. They're all afraid of him, and so they won't do a thing about me being his daughter. I'm really not sure why you keep acting like you know better than me here, but I'll have my father come and tear you a new one.
I'll have him do that with you.
Huh? Why would he do that to me?
If he learned about the way his daughter acts while being here, he'd be disappointed. He's a very serious and diligent man.
I have no idea what you're wanting to say here, but old man, think about the position you're in for me, please. If you act out any more with me, then I'm going to make you regret ever working for this company in the first place.
I wonder if you could really do that. For the time being, Faye, I would like you to continue your work here with a more acceptable attitude, please. I am allowed to ask this from you, and I don't want to have to ask you again. So make sure to change the way you're acting here, or else things will not go so well for you. I think you can understand what I'm asking here, right?
I have not a single clue what you're asking me. I don't even have the time right now to talk with you, old man.
You were the one that began texting me, hence my reply to you and your attitude. I, myself, am a very busy man and have things to return to, so I'll be going.
Tomorrow, you'd better act like a well-trained dog, old man.
I'm only 40 years old, Faye.
Well, compared to me, you're old as a rock. Please think about what I've said to you today. If you don't, you'll have to bring some lube to work with you before getting talked to by him.
Perhaps it'll be you that'll have to have a talk with your father. I think that would be much more beneficial to the company.
Idiot! Was that coffee pretty delicious?
You really went and spilled coffee on me now, huh? What exactly made you think something like that was a good idea?
Do you know who my father is?
You're a rude one. You already asked me that question twice yesterday, and here you come again with it.
My father is the director of this department. I have more power than you do because of that. So do you think you can stop trying to talk to me like you have been all the time, old man? I had to spill that coffee on you today because you wouldn't stop complaining about me.
I'm going to have to teach you directly then that you have no power here, and not even your dad, being the director, will save you.
What are you talking about? Have you gone insane now, Grandpa? I was going to tell my father about how you acted towards me today and have him chew you out. But then I decided spilling coffee on you would be more effective, and man, was it funny watching you react to that. I think I'll forgive you now. But don't you ever come up to me saying weird things again.
Was the weird thing I said to you today me giving you some instructions?
That's right. What is it with you and thinking you can tell me what to do? You are not the kind of person that's allowed to talk to the director's daughter that way. You should be thankful that I was willing to forgive you after I spilled my coffee on your head.
What do you think you are doing to this company's CEO?
Huh? The CEO?
This is your father speaking with you right now.
Huh? Dad?
You come down to my office right now, you idiot.
Hold up, Dad? Why are you upset with me? What's this about the CEO?
I just had a word with your dad, and I believe he wants you to come down and speak with us.
My dad was super pissed at me, but I had no clue about you, and so all of this was bound to happen.
I'm done with you, Faye. After how hard your father went into you over how you've been treating me, you still don't understand the seriousness of the situation? You seemed pretty full of yourself when in his office. Are you going to listen to what he told you, or not?
But I was thinking you were just some old man that's useless to the company. However, you're saying you've been the CEO this whole time? Are you sure you're not a fraud or something?
A fraud? Stop trying to be funny, Faye. It's because of what you've done today that your father had to get on his hands and knees and apologize to me.
Huh? Why did my dad do that? I told you guys that I just didn't know. Just assumed you were an old man on his way out of here.
You not even knowing who your own CEO is definitely is something I should have expected from you.
But everyone else never spoke to you like you're the CEO of this company. So that means you're just a fraud, right?
Can you please stop with the fraud talk, please? Is that the only response you have to me now?
Well, it's the truth though, right? Everyone just calls you Craig, so I assumed you were nothing more than a base-level employee.
And that's because I don't like being called anything besides my first name.
You really don't want people calling you Mr. Turner or Sir? Why not? Would you give up on trying to cover up the fact that you're in fact a fraud?
I would rather just have everyone call me Greg. I enjoy running a company where everyone can feel close to one another and don't have to feel distant when coming to talk with me.
And it's that kind of stupid idea that made me think you were nothing more than an old man. If I'd actually known that you were the CEO of this place, then I would have never did what had to be done to you.
What are you talking about, Faye? Whether I'm the CEO or not, you pouring coffee on someone above you is not acceptable. Actually, pouring it onto anyone is unacceptable. I've seriously had enough of you here. Do I really have to tell you that for you to understand? That is supposed to be common sense to everyone as an adult.
I really do not know what the hell you keep going on about. Can you explain all of that to me again in a language that I can actually understand?
Is that what you want? I totally overlooked you being the type of person that needs everything explained to you in a childish manner for you to understand it. Let me tell you that just because you're here because of your connection to your father, that does not mean you get any sort of special treatment. And you never seemed to understand that, did you? You seem to have thought that you could do whatever you want because you're the department director's daughter. But that's not the case. And I, the CEO, shouldn't have to be telling you something as basic as that either. All you've shown to me today is that you don't have an ounce of common sense in that head of yours.
Well, you can say all you want, but I'm still young.
Everyone else that was hired in with you is your age. The age of the people that are hired is not the problem here. But really, I never expected the day to come that one of my very exceptional employees would have to come apologize to me the way your father did.
Making my dad apologize to you like that is screwed up, by the way. Are you Satan or something? Why would you do that to my poor dad?
I totally forgot. You need things explained to you like you're a baby. You did something very bad today, and your daddy had to say sorry because you don't care about him. Does that help?
Huh?
It's because of you that your father had to come and apologize like that to me. I've even explained that to you in your language now, yet you're acting like you still don't understand?
It's my fault that my dad had to do that?
So that means you still don't understand what you did to me? I cannot believe there are people your age that act like you are. You spilled coffee onto the CEO of this company on purpose. Don't you think your father getting all up in arms like that with you was justified?
Well, I guess that was a little too far now that I think about it. But it wasn't like the coffee was that hot, right? If you don't have any injuries, then is there really a point for getting upset with me?
I think we were more surprised at what you've done to me than anything else. You're fired, Faye. I can't deal with your crap anymore.
Huh? I'm the one being fired? Why me? You're wrongfully firing me. What is wrong with you, old man? You can't fire me without a good reason.
Oh, come on. Say please. I really don't want to have to sit here all day explaining obvious things to you. Did you seriously not see anything wrong with pouring coffee on me like you did today? I am not going to allow someone as ridiculous as you to continue working for me. I'm tired of you acting like an idiot, but I also don't want to watch your father have to apologize for your actions again.
Do you really think I'm the one that did that to my dad? I didn't do anything to cause him to become embarrassed by me.
I'm going to need to call my doctor tonight. Need a refill on my prescription because of how terrible of a headache you've given me. I'm sorry, Faye, but you literally spilled coffee not only on your boss, but your father's boss as well. And you did it on purpose. What makes all of that even worse, though, is that the coffee ruined my new suit that I had imported from Italy. All of that right there should be more than enough to get you to come apologize to me. Yet, for some reason, you have no desire to do so yet. That right there shows me enough.
I do want to apologize. Sorry.
I had to tell you to apologize to me for you to do that.
But I apologized, right? So we can be done with all this now. Can't you see that I've learned whatever lesson you wanted to teach me and I can go back to work now?
Faye, I wish there was a hotline I could call to help you get the help you need. But there isn't. So the best thing I could do for me and everyone else here is fire you.
Huh? If you do that, my dad's going to be pissed at you next. You don't even have the right to fire me, even though you're the CEO. Oh, I could start going around saying that you overworked me and some other things to make you get fired.
I'm sorry, but you haven't been here long enough. Only a few weeks, and that's not enough to make such a claim. And since there was a reason to fire you in such a short time frame, it will be understood that what you did was very unacceptable within my company, and then that claim of yours will go right in the trash. I think trying that would be a huge waste of your time, but do whatever makes you happy.
What? So then I'm really being fired right now? Is my dad okay with you doing that to me? No way, right?
Well, if it makes it any better, your dad said he'd agree with me firing himself as well as you.
Huh? My dad said that?
He felt responsible for what you done, but I'm not going to fire him. He is one of my best employees, and losing him because of his mentally handicapped daughter's actions wouldn't be fair. So I think your dad is totally alright with me firing you. So go and grab all of your things off your desk and leave my building. Just a bit ago, when you met with your father and I, you didn't even bother saying and apologizing to me then. So I'm afraid you don't have anything to say to me directly now either, nor will you listen to me.
Hold on, please. I wanted to apologize to you then, but I just assumed then wasn't the best time since my dad was so angry. I was just going to wait for a better time.
Well, this is the result of you misreading the atmosphere. Good luck at whatever company hires you next. But it won't be any company in this part of town, I'm afraid. I'll make sure to explain what happened with us that led to your very early termination. I think finding a job around here after this is going to be difficult for you.
Huh? Wait, if you start going around and telling other companies about me, I'll be screwed. And now my dad's starting to tell me to leave the office and go away. He doesn't even want me going back to my parents' house now. If all of this is for real, then I'll be royally screwed, Craig.
Not my problem. I have a headache now, so I'm not going to think much about your future. The best I can say for you to do now is to go back to elementary school and start over again. Now, I need to get going to the pharmacy to grab more meds for my blood pressure. Can you hurry up and get lost already?
So you're going to be just like my dad? How am I supposed to go back to elementary school at my age?
Jesus. That was a joke, Faye. I swear, the actual thing you need to do is go book yourself into the nearest mental clinic and have them do a psychiatric exam on you. But that's up to you. There's nothing left I can do with you now, and thank God for that. Now, thank you for your 2.5 weeks here.
You're just going to leave me?
And I'm pulling the cost of my new imported suit from your next paycheck. I mean, your only paycheck.
Huh? Are you kidding me?
It's either that, or you pay me right now for the suit. At least be happy that you'll still be getting $100 or so from me.
Wait a minute. Please think about all of this.
My head hurts too much to think. Bye. There's a clinic down the street you can walk to that takes people without appointment. So go there.
In the end, Faye was fired from her job and thrown out of the office building. And not even her dad said anything else to her, instead choosing to completely forget about her as his daughter. He and his wife then cut ties with her and told her to never enter their house again. And as Craig had said to Faye, there would be little chance of a company near his office being open to hiring her, and so she was forced into a tough situation which her life teetered on. The following day, she came back to the office when Craig was walking into work and tried to apologize and ask for another chance. But he lashed out on her hard and forced her to pay for his ruined suit right then and there with whatever she had on her. And once she had emptied her purse of pretty much any money she had, he had security come escort her outside the office complex, and that was the last time she was ever seen by anyone. I'm sure that some of this had to do with her being spoiled at birth, but there is also the fact that she really did seem to have something wrong with her. Everyone at the office, including Craig even, hopes that wherever she is now, she's getting the help she needs.
Never come back here again, you broken, useless woman. If I see you around my house ever again, I'm calling the police on you. And then you could be taken away and turned into a proper adult in the society. Although, I wish I could have done that to you this time, but then I would have had to explain that to my son.
No matter what you say, I think it's you who should have the police called on them. You just punched me in the face. What kind of person thinks it's okay to punch a younger woman in the face for no good reason?
What's wrong with me punching a supposed robber in the face and kicking them out of my house? I know what you were here for, and I'm not gonna let your hitting attentions take a hold of my family.
A robber? I am your son's fiancé, for crying out loud. Why would I ever want to rob my own fiancé's dad? Why would I want to rob anyone, for that matter? I was just there to come and meet you, yet you stepped out of line the moment I came in and didn't even talk to me first about what you were suspecting.
Who cares at this point whether or not you're my son's fiancé or not? I don't even approve of you marrying him. Gosh, why did he have to end up with a woman like you? He has so much potential, and I've shown him so many other women that would fall for him in a heartbeat. All he has to do is just listen to me, and he'll have a much better woman that he can marry, who I know we can trust to be a good young wife for everyone.
What do you mean, why has he ended up with a woman like me? All I said was that I grew up with a single mother and that she was the only one to really raise me while I was going through school. I never did anything to you that would have come off as rude or hostile, right? And I definitely wasn't robbing you of anything.
You bringing yourself and that past of yours into my house is very rude of you, actually. Alright? My family is very famous, and we have a name to uphold in this city, in this state even. And seeing someone like you trying to sneak into my family is very recognizable. I've seen women like you before that try and get into rich and famous families, with the purpose of leeching off them like a nasty parasite. And not just me, but so have a lot of my colleagues as well. And if they see me letting a roach like you into my house again, they will begin to think differently of me in a far worse way. I'm sure whoever the man was that impregnated your mom, he's lucky to have run away from you all. He probably knew at first glance that you and your mother were both going to end up as useless members of this great society.
Huh? So in other words, you're just judging me harshly for being from a single mother household and are using that as reason to push me away? I have to say, you've made a situation that could very well put you behind bars, Geoff. This could have gone a lot better had you just expressed your concerns with me in the first place and let me explain myself a bit more to you so that you could understand who I am. But that probably wouldn't have made a difference anyway in the end.
The law doesn't care about what I've done to protect myself from a robber like you. Heck, if I had a weapon on me, I could have done you in, and there would be no one against me because I had to protect my son in this house. Ah, and another thing. All you moneyless people are truly thieves. You only live to try and get into us rich people's lives and take what we worked so hard for, right? Well, today our interaction has taught me a very good lesson. I'm going to need to invest in better house security now that I see more rats like you on the horizon trying to dig their way into my money.
Man, I'm actually amazed by you. You must be talented in talking and regurgitating such garbage all the time. Today you've really made yourself look like a textbook example of a greedy villain from some movie, and that's kind of hilarious, actually.
A villain? I'm the hero of this world. It's because of people like me, who have bled for the position they're in, that you lowlives and you moneyless people have the chance to even be able to live. You're the ones that get to have unemployment because you're too lazy and useless to get a job. And that all comes from the money I make. And you think, after living off all of that I've sacrificed for this world, you could come in and become part of my family now? Stop trying to make me laugh. This company of mine employs thousands of people that are below me. And if you wanted, I'd give you a job as well in the company. But I know you'd never be thankful for my kindness. So I'd rather you stay away from the greatness I offer this world.
I have a job right now, and it's working for someone that's a bit less egotistical than you. And me wanting to marry your son wasn't me trying to come into your family with any bad intentions, actually. I just wanted to marry your son, Ben, because I love him and he means the world to me.
That's the same thing. You marrying my son will make you a part of my family and have access to all my things that I've worked hard for. Who do you think will allow you to do that? It won't be me, I promise you that. Ben has been in countless newspapers with articles all written about how amazing of a young elite man he is. He is a star, shining bright in this city of mine. And you have no right taking him off his pedestal with whatever emotions you have for him. If he's going to be swayed by love, it better be to a woman that I approve of. Someone that's a celebrity. Or comes with wealth.
But Ben wants to be married to me as well. He doesn't want to be with a celebrity or some stuck-up rich girl. We've already talked about all of this before and about the reason why he's choosing to be with me over all the countless other beautiful and wealthy women he could be with. And his reasoning was that someone like me didn't grow up in wealth or as someone that's a natural-born model, and that's what makes someone like me down-to-earth and special to him.
I don't care about what he thinks he wants. I am his father, and not only his father, but his CEO as well. Everything I say to him, he must abide by. And that's because everything I say is correct. He has an image to uphold for his family. And that image cannot be tainted by someone that the rest of this world's high society doesn't deem important. Do you understand?
Really? You're that important and powerful of a man then that everything you say is right?
I am. But I'm sure a lowlife like you would never be able to understand my power. I do not approve of the marriage between my elite son and some lowlife who was only raised by her mother. If my punch to your face has helped you understand that, then get lost, you moneyless thief.
But my mom is the chairman of your company.
You're a lying piece of trash. Nice try, but you'll never be able to get me to say sorry to you.
All right, I understand. It seems that this man is not the kind of person I'd assumed he'd be when making him my CEO. For a while now, he's been doing a decent job at what he's been tasked with, but I never really knew him well enough to say that I've seen something like this coming from him. That's what it seems, though, Mom. I was surprised by how badly he treated me. I've never even been treated that badly in my life, let alone been punched. I get that he's got a huge misunderstanding of my situation and everything, but for him to take it so far that he'd physically hit me is just mind-boggling to me. What has Ben been saying about this? I'm sure after what he had to witness, he's in a pretty tough spot with his dad. For the longest time now, he's struggled in dealing with his dad, actually. Ever since he was born, his dad made it very clear that Ben couldn't have a life of his own and that he was the only one who could make choices for him. That's why originally I was going to introduce myself and ask his dad to allow me to marry his son. I tried my best to sell to him that I would be a great wife to his son and him when I married into the family. But I think me saying that I've only been raised by you led him to believe there's something wrong with me, and that he's not the man that'll allow anyone with a perceived imperfection to be with his perfect and elite son. So much for that now, and I regret that I ever brought anything about myself up to him. If he was going to be that upset about it, I should have just lied to him to get his approval, and then after the marriage took Ben as far away as I could from him. I'm sure Ben's pretty upset by this as well. I myself never saw Geoff as being that sort of hideous man. This is my fault for letting him think he could get away with such a thing. Maybe the position of CEO is too much for him, and he thinks that in that position he's something better than everyone else and above the law, which really scares me. But him becoming a CEO does kind of make him a big deal, right? I mean, he's in charge of a lot of your company now, and without someone in that position, you'd have a very hard time keeping your company under control. So there was no helping him from being corrupted by power and the name he has now. He must have done something for the company that made you trust him, and that means it's fine letting him stay in that position. However, it would be nice for him to go to 1 or 2 ethics classes in the near future. No matter how good he's doing at his job, if he has a terrible personality, then he's not worth being in the company. If this is how he's acted out towards you, then I'm sure a lot of the employees within the company have felt the same kind of wrath. I'm going to start a very thorough investigation into him and have him fired at the end of it. I want to know what others in the company think of him, and I want to see what else he's done that I'd never guessed he'd do. That way I'll have all the evidence stacked against him, just in case he thinks he can try and fight me in this company on my decision. And also, punching my own daughter like that, I cannot allow that sort of behavior. I bet he'd never have done something like that if I came along with you to meet him. Can you make sure to take pictures of your face and everything that's bruised up or swollen so that we can use the pictures later as even more evidence? I just want to make sure we have everything covered before taking care of that gross pile of garbage. I'm fine though, Mom. He actually sucks at throwing punches, and so that last one was like taking a pillow to the face. I get that you need to do something about him, and I do want you to make sure he pays for his way of thinking. But above the physical pain I feel right now, having to see Ben as sad as he is right now is heartbreaking to me. He was the one that brought me along to meet his dad, and now he feels some sort of responsibility for what's happened. I've told him that he doesn't need to feel sorry, but every time he sees my black eye, he starts to cry a lot. You have a black eye now, too? Make sure that you start putting ice around it to help it all go away soon. And as for you and Ben, I think you need to go have a long talk about this with him and explain that he really doesn't have to feel any sort of responsibility for what happened. I'm not sure even he thought his father could stoop as low as he did. And I'll make sure not to step into that. It's your guys' decision. You're old enough now and at that point in your life where you need to be there for him and comfort him when he's at his weakest. I'm sure what would really make him happy is talking all this through after he's done crying. Yeah, all right. I'll do that. Just know that I myself feel sorry for never noticing the true man that's been Geoff. So don't worry about him anymore. I'll take care of him for you. And I'll make sure he gets to see all the damage he's caused by acting like an entitled child. Just focus on your soon-to-be husband. I totally understand now why Ben has hated his dad so much. The only thing is, no matter what his dad does to him, he always seems to want to stay by his dad's side. I really don't want him to think that he has to be tethered to his dad anymore and that he can leave whenever he wants because he's an adult. Ben, he still wants to get married to you even now, right? Of course. No matter what anyone has to say about us, we know that we'll be at our happiest when we get married. For example, even if you were against us, we'd still get married. I know you never would be, but if you were, I'd go as far as cutting ties with you in order to marry Ben. That's how much I love him, Mom. That kind of stubbornness is just like me, Isabel. I think so. So no matter what that idiot Geoff says to me, we'll be fine. Actually, it's kind of fun being picked on by him. Geoff really does try to go all out, making me seem like some kind of a monster at times. But he ends up sounding like a gosh darn fool in doing so. Even if it's fun now, just make sure to take care of yourself around him. That sort of mental and physical harassment that he's trying to do to you, you can only bear it for so long, so we need to make sure to handle it before you run out of strength. I'm worried about you, but I know you can handle yourself. I'll be fine, Mom. I'm just like you, right? Making me pretty dang strong. You've always been on your own, and I've learned a lot from you being a strong single mother that raised me. And so, because of what you've taught me, I'm not going to lose to some pussy of a man. I'm sorry. I'm sure that I put you through a lot of tough experiences when you were younger. Also, I bet there were plenty of times growing up that you felt that you were all alone in this world. There were times where I was lonely, but I'm still happy that I have you as my mom. You are so kind, yet strong, and for the longest time now, I've wanted to become someone like you. You really are a mother that I can brag about, Mom. Ben grew up with a mother and father and always had someone around him, but I feel that he's even lonelier now than I was back then. Thank you, Isabel. I'm happy to hear that. And I hope that soon we can help Ben escape that monster for good. We will. And you don't have to thank me. Me being able to say all these nice things about you is what makes me such a cool daughter, right? Saying something that can make you that happy without even having to think about it. I'm actually really happy to have you as my daughter, though. I honestly don't know what to say sometimes that'll show you how fortunate I am to have you. Don't worry about it. Sorry if I made you feel as though you had to praise me. I know that you're happy to have me, and I feel the same about having you. Thank you always, Mom. No, thank you always, Isabel. When this is all over, how about we all take some time off? Ben, yourself, and I go somewhere relaxing for a little while. That would be wonderful, Mom. Geoff, I have something I'd like to talk about for a moment. Is that okay with you?
Well, if it isn't the chairman. What's been going on? You know that anytime you need to talk, you could come stop by my office and chat. But anyway, has something happened?
Yes, something has happened. Geoff, do you recall anything?
Recall anything? No, the company has been doing very well lately, so nothing outside the ordinary has happened here. You should be quite aware that our company is doing much better, as a matter of fact, with me in charge.
Is that so? Well, has anything happened outside the company?
No, I have been having a splendid life outside my work that I'm very proud of. But, to be honest, I consider anything outside my life and the office my second shift of work, as I'm always on the clock.
A splendid life. I see. So then you'd consider that your splendid life would also involve punching women in the face?
Huh? What the hell are you talking about?
Seems you did quite the number on my daughter.
What? Wait. I'm sorry. I'm not really sure what you're talking about at this moment.
My daughter, Isabel. She happened to stop by your house to introduce herself and talk with you about how she'd be marrying your son. But I've been told by her that things didn't go anywhere close to plan and you did something rather unthinkable. I've also made sure to talk with your son about this, so please do not say that you've forgotten about this.
What can I say?
Tell me right now, Geoff. What did you end up doing to my daughter?
You're wrong. What happened was, well, she was talking back to me very rudely, but say that I punched her in the face is not true. I'm sure all I did was tap her on the shoulder or something for that.
If someone were to punch you in the face, would you allow that?
I'm being serious right now. I'm sure that all of this could have been avoided in some manner, but saying that I punched her?
Well then, what's this recording that I have?
Huh? No, that's...
This is the recording that Isabel took when she was around you. And you can hear very clearly the sound of your fist hitting her cheekbone and her then falling to the ground. And I have your son as a witness to all of this happening to her. So what the hell did you plan to do after all this went down?
You have my son as a witness? What has Ben even told you about this?
He told me that his dad had punched Isabel in the face. He then followed that by saying that it's his fault this all happened and that he's sorry. Are you not embarrassed as a father to have your son be the one apologizing for your necessary actions?
That backstabbing idiot. Well, what he's told you is all false. I'm sure that she may have fallen over when I ran into her, but I never actually punched her in the face.
You told me just a second ago it was only a tap on her shoulder.
It's because of my son saying a bunch of BS to you that everything spun out of control for a second. To be real with you, if I'd known that she was your daughter...
So you're saying that if she wasn't my daughter, it'd be acceptable to physically assault her like that? Punching her in the face and giving her a black eye?
That's not what I meant by that exactly. But I do not approve of them both getting married now. I mean, I have the right to choose who is going to marry my son, since he's the one that'll be getting my position next, right?
Stop trying to change the issue here. You said some very inappropriate things to your son's fiancé and then proceeded to punch her in the face. I know that for a fact. So let's continue talking about that.
But well, this is all... You've got it all wrong. Really, I think I've been set up.
I never imagined you were this pathetic of a man. As of today, you are no longer going to be the CEO anymore.
Huh?
Get all your things together and then get out of this building.
Hold on for a second. This is all strange, right? Do you not know how much I've sacrificed for the sake of this company already?
And you're the one that chose to sacrifice all of that yourself. Now be a man and accept your fate.
But...
I have made my choice with you and it will not be changed. You should also understand that kind of mentality well enough, right, Geoff?
I understand. I'll allow it. I did in fact punch Isabella in the face by accident. And as for my son, well, I'm really sorry for what's happened.
You think I'm going to forgive you because you allow my daughter to marry your son?
Well, then what should I do to get you to forgive me? Shall I come to you and get on my hands and knees and beg? Would that be enough to make you happy?
Well, if you happened to do that for me, you might get a better understanding of the kind of trash you really are. Well, it doesn't matter now. I don't want to see you ever again, Geoff.
Please hold on, Chairman. Can you please listen to my side of the story? Hey, can you please do something about this? I never actually knew you were the daughter of the chairman.
What are you talking about?
I'm asking you to make the chairman understand my side of things. I never meant any harm back then. I was just thinking a bit too much about Ben and, well, just for right now, get your mom to understand me.
Understand you? My mom understands you and your intentions clear as day.
Right now, she believes for some reason that I actually punched you back then. You were just talking out your butt saying that.
I am not. You punched me in the face, and so I told my mom about it. Well, that's all right, though. I have that recording of what had happened, so stop trying to change the past and just prepare yourself.
Huh?
I'm taking you to court, Geoff. And I've already made a victim's report of what you've done to me. And I believe the police will begin to investigate the case here soon.
Well, wait a minute. That's going way too far. I'm trying to keep all of this within the family.
No matter what you try and say to me, I'm taking you to court. That's the whole reason I recorded us in the first place.
Then, that means you're fine with never getting to see my son again, right?
Excuse me? Why would that happen after taking you to court?
Did you hear me? He is my son, and he's my property. I plan to have him become the next CEO of this company. So if you're going to take me to court, then you better give me my things back.
Well, Ben has said that he's never going to see you again.
No frickin' way. That man respects me more than anyone else in this world. All you've been trying to do is brainwash my son.
Weren't you the one brainwashing him this whole dang time? You used your authority as his dad to take complete control of his life and never let him make his own choices. Perhaps it's time you start thinking about how he feels before you go and take everything that means anything to him away.
Shut the hell up. What does a fatherless baby like you know what a father should be like?
Me having only my mother around to raise me has nothing to do with this. I was at least able to be loved by my mom while she was still around caring for me at home. And she's taught me a lot, and still does.
And I've done the same. I've given him all the love he needs, and that's why he's an elite. I made sure to raise him the way I did so he could be happy and powerful. And we all know that being an elite is the only way to be happy in this world.
Well, Ben's happiness is achieved by being around people that love him and allow him to live a simple and calm life. And he's grown to hate you using the words elite and loser in the house. He's literally saying that he's happier anywhere besides being near you now.
What? Is that right?
I'm sure you would never have known that, right? And the reason for that is simple. You never loved Ben. Rather, you just saw him as a piece of property that you could use to make yourself look better as a man.
What the hell do you know?
Right? Of course, I don't know crap about someone like you. The only thing I do know, though, is that compared to my mom, you are like the plague.
You're nothing more than a mother's girl.
Saying it just like you're still in middle school. Stop it, Geoff. You really are not in the position to fight back anymore.
For Christ's sakes, you're nothing. Hey, please, can you come back to me? I'll promise to never step out of line again.
Geoff, do you think you can stop trying to talk to me? At this point, you and I are complete strangers.
Please? All of my family has cut ties to me, and my wife got up and left me here all alone. And as for work, I haven't been able to find any company willing to hire me.
And that's what you get. That life you're living now suits you perfectly.
Well, I've thought about and learned from everything now. Just give me one last chance, please. I really want to see Ben again.
All right, then. I'm sure you're just trying to get money from us now that you can't borrow anymore, right?
Huh?
I already know, Geoff. For the past few months, you felt sorry for yourself and have proceeded to go out late at night to play on the streets. And the story about you spending $200,000 in a single night is really buzzing on social media. You even pay people to call you CEO still because that's the only thing making you happy, right?
You even know about that?
Geoff, you have nothing to offer me or my family. All you do is push others down so that you can continue to hang on to your pride, even going as far as to ruin other people's happiness. And now that you're in a time of desperation, you are trying to get any kind of help there is, but only as long as you still feel on top. But you are a disgrace, and nobody wants you around them anymore.
What the?
As a parent, as a husband, and even as a member of society, you are a disgrace who will never be wanted. And I do not want myself or those that I care about being around you.
I have really thought about everything that's happened and learned my lesson. Do you really think it's okay to say such heartless things like that to someone who's already been through enough?
You've been through enough? Well, if you've really gone through enough to learn from your mistakes, then where is my apology?
Huh?
You said terrible things about me as well as assaulted me, yet I have not heard a single apology from you.
I feel like I've apologized already for that.
No. You made a poor attempt to apologize to my mom about that, but still haven't said anything to me. I always thought that those who had really gone and learned their lessons start by apologizing for what they've done. Well, it doesn't matter much now. I'd love for you to continue living in that world you call hell.
What about Ben? What's happened with him? I want to talk to my son now.
You've read that letter from him by now, right? What did he say in that letter?
He said the next time I come around you guys, he'll make me pay.
I'm sure that's hard for you to understand, but what he means is for you to stay away. So please respect his wants and leave us alone. I know that you've never been good at respecting him, but your life depends on it this time. So make this the last thing you can be good for and stay the hell away.
Why? I think it'd be okay for you guys to at least forgive me a little. Right now, I'm super close to even losing my own house and having to live on the streets.
No matter what you say to me, I've made my choice and it will not be changed. I'm like my mom, Geoff, a stubborn woman. After that, I blocked Geoff's phone number and since then have not heard from him again. In his case, he was surrounded by loads of debt and lost his house to the bank. And when he went begging for someone to help him, there wasn't a soul around willing to give him a hand. He also lost all connections to his family, and his wife divorced and ran away from him. He lost his job as the CEO and now has a very difficult time finding any work besides part-time gigs. With all of that pressure crushing his own rotten soul, he ran far from the city we were all in, off to somewhere nobody knows. There are some rumors that maybe he borrowed money from loan sharks and that he was abducted by them when he never paid them back in time. But no matter what the truth may be for his disappearance, I'd like to know because a man with his kind of fragile pride must be in shambles. As for me and my life, I was able to buy a brand new house, and both Ben and I have been living there starting our new life together. And in Ben's case, he took over the role as CEO from his dad, and is now being supported with the help of my mom, making his next year for the company look outstanding compared to when his dad ran the place. Ben was also able to forget a lot of the horrible memories he had of his dad, and didn't feel as much spite towards him, which is a relief for me. Now he has his job as the CEO to focus on, and that's really helped him get over his dad. I'm so glad that I get to be with Ben now and that he's even more happy. And knowing that he no longer has to struggle with his dad has made me even happier.
I'm going to be getting married. And that's just what I deserve for being such a beautiful woman.
Is that so? You're getting married to Andy then? Congratulations.
That is right. But why do you know about him? Did I ever tell you the name of my boyfriend before?
I think that I've known about Andy a lot longer than you have at this point. But you don't have to worry about that. Just congrats on you both getting married. However, I wasn't really thinking that the two of you would ever make it this far together. But you have always wanted to get married to someone, so this is great for you.
What is up with that kind of attitude? Are you trying to talk down to me? Did you really think that I wouldn't be able to get a man to marry me, even though I have this wonderful body?
Huh? Why do you think I meant what I said as a slight towards you? I just wanted to say congrats for finding a man that would marry you, and that I'm happy to see things working out.
Well, you don't have the right to talk to me like that about my situation. Have you even seen the current job you're working? Would you ever think it's okay for an overnight cleaning lady to talk to anyone else the way you've been? You're the lowest of the low in the society, so I'm not going to let you talk crap.
About this again? What about being a cleaning lady means that I'm the lowest of the low? I've been putting a lot of effort into my job, and I take it very seriously. So don't call me anything like a lowlife, okay?
Well, someone like you shouldn't be having to do a job like that, but perhaps that's the reason why I'm the one getting married and not you.
As though you were chosen? Well, just as long as you're getting married for love.
But when I do get married to Andy, I'll become a housewife for him. Unlike a cleaning lady, I'll never have to work in other people's houses or offices to do their dirty work.
I don't have a problem with any of that, though. Layla, do you think you could stop talking down to me about the job I do? I'm starting to become a little bit upset by the way you talk about me. I'm sure that you can't see that yet, but...
Why do I have to care about how you feel when I talk to you? I'm not in the position where I have to give up my time thinking about how low lives feel. And you are the worst of the low lives.
You're going too far, Layla. And to put some things into perspective for you, do you know how you ended up meeting Andy in the first place?
What do you want to say to me? I was introduced to Andy by Mom, right? She told me that he's one of her friend's son.
Huh? Is that what she told you?
That is. So what does that mean to you? A low-life scum like you is not invited to my wedding? If a cleaning lady came to my special day, it would make the whole atmosphere go sour.
That attitude you have right there. Stop it! I'm getting to my limits with the way you're treating me now, Layla. If I were to stay away from your wedding like you've said, things wouldn't go so well for you. So I'm going. Now, I'll see you at your wedding. Mom, I can see that Layla is going to end up marrying Andrew now, right? Have you not told her yet that I'm the one that's known Andy and introduced him?
Well, that's the problem. It became harder and harder for me to tell her that. With that girl, if I mentioned that you were the one that introduced Andy, she'd freak out, right? She'd get all up in our faces again and would think that we're all playing with her.
Well, I can understand that she wouldn't take it lightly. I can definitely see her flipping out at the news that I was the one to bring him along. But it's crazy that she thinks we're being rude or mean to her when she's the one that's been that way to me my whole life.
And that's the reason I never said anything about her to you. But now that she's going to be getting married to him, she'll finally be able to move out of this house. I'm planning on getting out of here myself and into a new home.
Is that so?
I want to move away with Dad to a smaller farmhouse out in the countryside to spend our final years relaxing. And so we've both been waiting a long time for her to leave.
I can see that. Well, thankfully that time has come.
And once things have settled down after the move, we'd love for you to come out and see the place.
All right. But that's only if Layla can get married to that man. I'm starting to feel a bit bad, though, for Andy now that I've introduced him to a demon of sorts. But if he's really that into Layla, then that's great for him.
I think the two of them fit like puzzle pieces, so it's worked out. I think that Lila and him will be able to get along well, even after marriage. So I'm praying that things go smoothly for her and she doesn't throw it all away.
I'm in the same boat as you are. She told me she doesn't want me to come to her wedding. But I'm afraid something will happen if I don't show, so I'm gonna go still, okay?
And you should still go. She's still a little selfish brat, so you don't have to listen to what she says.
Thank goodness. Well, I'm looking forward to the wedding.
Did you not listen to me? Hurry up and get lost, you moneyless lowlife. I don't want you showing yourself to Andy when he should never know that you're part of my family.
Do you have no idea what you've just done? I think that what's happened is literally taking things way too far between us.
Well, it's your fault for coming to my wedding in the first place, right? I didn't even invite you here in the first place, yet you still showed up.
Well, Mom had received an invitation from Andy asking for the whole family to come to the wedding. I knew that you wanted me to stay away today, but choosing to be violent towards me was going too far overboard.
What about that was violent? I was just making sure that your eyes were opened.
Well, you came up to me and slapped me across the face before yelling at me to leave. Do you not see how messed up something like that really is?
You're getting on my nerves, Sydney. What I had to do with you was in defense of my wedding.
What? Do you know what it means to defend something? Are you sure you weren't just assaulting me a second ago?
Lowlife scum are not a part of my family, so hurry up and leave already. You should have listened to me before I had to take action and defend my wedding.
Why do you think that I'm some lowlife that's worth assaulting?
Because you're an overnight cleaning lady.
Layla, look, what you're saying makes no sense right now.
What I'm saying does make sense. I'm not okay with my little sister being a cleaning lady when she had so much potential. I slapped you to try and wake you up. So now that you understand how I feel about you, get lost.
Then you have a great one.
I don't need to hear that from you.
I'm going to do as you wish and go right home. But allow me to say one last thing. The man that you've just married was introduced to you by me.
Really? Why are you starting to say such unrealistic things now?
I get it. You're not going to believe me. But you're the only one that doesn't seem to care.
What do you mean?
Mom just happened to never tell you about his relation to me. She wanted to keep you from getting upset with me for bringing Andy along, and so she never told you a thing about how he's your husband due to me. You were already upset with me due to my job as a cleaning lady, and she couldn't see you believing her without getting pissed. But the reason that I was able to bring him to you is because I became friends with him and his parents due to my job. But I already have a fiancé, so I decided that he should talk to you more if he was looking for someone.
You know him and his parents? What are you talking about? Do you really think I can take a joke like that seriously? Have you got off the deep end now? I'm sorry that you're having to leave my wedding is so distressing, but it has to be done.
The only reason Mom never told you was for the sake of making sure you would stay with Andy. She was afraid of how angry you'd become and that you'd throw your relationship with Andy away because of me.
Are you really telling me the truth? Why has Andy vanished from me all of a sudden? What's going on here?
Maybe it's because his parents watched as you slapped me in the face earlier?
Huh? They saw all of that?
They saw the whole thing unfold. If it wasn't for you laughing so hard at me, they might have not came and looked. But after you slapped me and started to laugh some more, I went and met with them.
Wait, when you went to go see them, you didn't say anything unnecessary, right? And are you for real about you and Andy already knowing one another?
Because I had known his parents and him for a while. They took good care of me. And it's because of them that I was able to find you a man to marry. But now you've gone and slapped me in front of both his parents.
But I never knew anything about you guys, so maybe this is just you trying to make up crap. Hold on, something's going on. Because you're not here, his parents seem pretty upset right now. And they just told Andy that I've done something wrong. Do you think you could come back here? I feel that if you don't come back right now, things will get pretty bad for me. Please hurry.
Even if you asked nicely, I'm not coming back now, huh?
Huh? Why not? Right now, things are starting to go downhill and I'm a bit panicked. I'm in a bit of pinch right now, so please come back here. Why, after a little slap to my sister, are they all starting to get worked up? Hurry up and get back here.
You asking me to come back now after telling me to get lost out of panic isn't going to work.
Why?
Because you just told me, Layla. You said you don't see me as family, right?
No, that's not what I meant by that.
And now that you've said and done things to someone as vital as me, you might end up getting divorced from him pretty soon. I'm sure that both Andy and his parents are regretting me introducing him to you. We had tried so hard to make things work out between you two, but I've already talked with Andy about this.
Huh? Why? Why are you talking with him before asking me for permission? You don't have to do things like that behind my back. What have you guys been talking about?
I told him that you no longer see me as your family, and so he no longer has to worry about you and I. I then ended our conversation by asking that he do what he thinks is best regarding you.
Huh? What do you mean by that? Do you think that he needs to do something about me being with him now?
Well, you talk down to me for being a cleaning lady, and even have gone as far as to regard me as nothing but a stranger now. I feel as though he should understand that and think twice about being married to you.
Please don't tell me you told him all about that, right?
Of course I told him.
Why did you do something like that to me?
That's right. I almost forgot to say this. I think you really don't know the importance of this.
What is it now? What importance is there that I'm unaware of?
Andy's parents are actually the ones that own the company in which I work for.
Huh?
You've been going on about how much you dislike those that work in the cleaning industry. And since you seem to hate people like me so much, it wouldn't make sense that you be married to the son of two people that own a company which is in the cleaning industry, right?
Hold on. Andy is the son of the company's CEO? I had a feeling that he had a lot of money, but I just assumed he was working for a good company, that's all. That would mean that I've landed the perfect husband, right?
Well, that's only if your marriage to him lasts, right?
I never knew about that. He never mentioned to me that his parents owned a company. I'm freaking out right now because there's so many things I never was told about. This is all way too different from the situation I was thinking about. What should I do now?
Asking me what you should do will get you nowhere. That all has nothing to do with me now. I think that your wedding will be canceled now, and you being married to Andy will crumble, right? You're going to go back to being a single and jobless loser, right?
What is with you calling me that? I'm your sister. And if all of that happens to me because of you, you get back here right now and do something about this. I've never heard of a little sister acting out like that towards her older sister.
Well, I don't think of you as my sister anymore.
Huh?
After what's happened, I'm thinking of just cutting ties with you now. I like to think that someone who's willing to slap their own sister is no family of mine. And so I'll do whatever I can to make sure I don't have to see you anymore. Now, goodbye forever.
Wait, what are you saying? If you are to cut ties with me right now, what will happen to my marriage to Andy? Stop trying to run away from your responsibility.
Well, to be honest, you being married to him was never going to work. He was going to become aware of you at some point in time, so aren't you happy that his eyes have been opened now? Ah, and another thing. Mom and Dad are going to be moving away. And they said they're no longer going to take care of you anymore. So, if you're thinking of going back to them, they won't be there. Don't forget about that, okay?
What's going on? Are you saying that Mom and Dad are going to throw me away as well? You getting in the way of my wedding is the worst thing ever.
I didn't get in the way of anything. You just messed up by slapping me in the face.
That was just a joke, or maybe it was just an accident.
No matter how you try and make excuses for what happened, it won't help you. Now, good luck with your marriage. But before you try for marriage, maybe find yourself a job? Right now, you're just a complete loser. Are you not embarrassed being 33 years old and still living with your parents under all their care? You like to call cleaners lowlifes, but when you think about it, someone who's unemployed and lives with their parents is the real lowlife. See you never, you lost cause. Never try talking to me again. In the end, Layla was left in despair after her wedding was canceled. She immediately ran away from everyone at the wedding and their short marriage was over. Andy's parents tried searching for her as they still wanted to talk to her about why she would do what she did, but after searching for her for hours, they gave up and let her be. Andy was left a small bit heartbroken, but was more relieved than anything else since he was able to see the true person that Layla really was. Layla tried running back to her parents' house, but would soon find that it was already too late for herself. Layla's parents were already out of their old house and moved to the countryside by then, and since she had no one to rely on anymore, she was forced into having to support herself. She tried to get Sydney to help her, but by that point, Sydney had already blocked all her ways of contacting her. Sydney had also gotten married to her fiancé as well, and moved to a new location. And so, Layla was left with nothing but herself, and had to start from scratch like most people had done in their early 20s. If only she had gone out and started fending for herself sooner, something like this would never be happening to her.